ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Day 3 Championship Sunday of the BLCS 2023 Spring Open. I'm joined by Alligator Source. We have Draco Esports taking on Cloverity.
It should be a good one, Nation. We have a battle of a couple of different things. Obviously, Cloverity coming from a little bit lower. They had to go through round 1, but they have not dropped a game in the process. Now, Draco Esports, they had to buy into the quarterfinals, but got the big win 4-2 over Goon Squad to get this place in the semis. And a best of 7 is what separates these two squads from an appearance in the grand finals.
Some very talented players in the pitch right now, but Vibing starts to scoring out strong. Gators. Draco, a quick goal off the kickoff, 26 seconds here through game 1. The pressure already starting to build.
You imagine that they're going to come in hard with this offense. They don't want to give Cloverity any bit of room. Obviously, they're aware that their opponent has had a very solid run here through their last 7 games. So not surprising at all to see that immediate offense and the opportunity coming out for Draco Esports. But Cloverity, they're going to have an opportunity to bounce back into answer as there's only been 30 seconds and change gone.
Correct, and already Cloverity, they did look really, really good last night, but against a team like this, you gotta play, on all 4 cylinders here, especially against a very talented team in Draco, and it's very hard to beat this team in a 7-game series, Gator, but teams have run in the past, and Cloverity, very talented, but they gotta get the job done. It starts here in game 1, building the pressure and making Draco play their game.
They gotta go for it to be sure, Nation, but to say they're firing on all 4 cylinders, I introduced to you the concept of a V6. I do think that Cloverity are going to find that extra gear, get the extra cylinders. I'll say it now here in game 1. They're down. I think Cloverity take the series in 6.
It's going to be a close series, I'm sure, hopefully, but again, Draco, the Titans of BLCS, as we know, 66-16 on the year, so 3.5 minutes left to go. It's a quick start for Draco, but it's still plenty of time to go.
Yeah, very quick goal, but has more standardized in the minute and change since, gotten to more traditional type of Rocket League with battles for possession going on and both teams taking an opportunity at it, although it will go back Draco's way to send it back downfield. Heps looking to get a pass, but goes off over to the corner instead, so we will battle around here in the orange for a moment.
Cloverity looking to build pressure here on this next offensive opportunity, but again, the Draco defense finds its way out of its own half, but Suwa's a chance there, just going to fall wide, and Draco now looks to transition.
And Cloverity, they're starting to find it. Like, they gave up that early goal, as we obviously all saw, but since then, it seems to have been more of like a 60-40 split in terms of Cloverity getting pressure since that opening goal. We are getting close to halftime, though. Draco Esports still holding out of the lead. They're playing solidly as well. Nothing too worrisome coming up from them, as they're going to look to try to get a second here, but Cloverity bringing it back.
And it really feels like the ball's spending a lot of time on the blue half, and that might just be, a big margin here for Cloverity. But again, the chances for Draco to just continue to come out of nowhere, and Heps turns in a second. It's a 2-0 start, just past the halfway mark here.
Yeah, the great example of a change-up shot there from Hebs. Tuv, of course, got to give the flowers out for getting that pass as well. But so many of the plays had been so bang-bang, so high-paced. And just getting that soft little pop, that can be enough. And in this case, it will be Draco up 2-0.
Again, but Cloverity built so much pressure here in this at the end of the first half, but Draco just continue to get right back on the orange side of the field here, and Vibing looking for a chance. It's a pass down to Tuv as 2 up for Cloverity. It's taken away, and now Cloverity have got to extend here.
They might have something. Nebula sets the dribble. Is going to go for the flick, and Vibing will not get back to it. Cloverity find themselves on the board in emphatic fashion.
What a flick there. Sparta on the backfield. Turns out to Nebula. It's just a beautiful flick straight center. It's a 2-1 lead now for Draco, but they do cut the lead in half here.
Cloverity are going to have to get a solid kickoff off this as well. It took that almost 3 minutes to find themselves on the board. Possession is going to go back over to Draco off the kickoff. Hebs is going to be patient, waits for it. Waits a little bit too long as Nebula is able to challenge. And Tuv is going to go for the passing play. And Heps has got to get the pass over to Tuv. The team play for Draco Esports re-extends their lead.
Draco back on top by 2 as that 1-goal margin did not last very long, Gator. But with under 2 minutes left to go, Cloverity has got it under that final form here to get under, this 2-minute mark and find themselves 2 goals late.
Yeah, it's one of the things where, I don't want to retread well-treaded ground. Everybody who's listened to a cast at some point has heard, it's game 1 of a best of 7, game 1 energy. Not going to try to read too much into it, but I really like the aggression from Draco to start off. And there again, they're swarming. Cloverity doing everything they can to get this ball off over to the corner, but it seems that Draco are just finding that extra little bit of energy to send it right back in and to keep going after it as Heps does here.
Heps turns in his second on the day, I believe, in a minute 31 to go. And again, Draco, another goal on the board here. It's common for them, but 91 seconds left. Cloverity needing goal now every 30 seconds to try to force OT here.
And Heps is separating himself from the rest of the pack. 2 goals on 4 shots, as well as 2 assists. 100% goal participation for Draco Esports. And now, traditionally, dragons are more solitary creatures, but Heps, you're repping Draco as well. Very, very team-oriented player.
Final 70 seconds approaching, and Cloverity need to get something late here to find a late surge, but again, Draco continuing for the ball in the orange corner and build that pressure on this orange box, but Cloverity, again, I like their transitions just to get out from that final shot into a goal, and with 60 seconds left, might be time to chalk it up for them and look ahead to game 2.
Yeah, bing, bang, sling, sling. What's going to happen? You're going to lose by more? You're already in a single elimination playoffs, and it's only game 1. So just go for it. See what can happen. If you end up, instead of 4-1, losing 5-6, heck, even 7-1, as long as you're going out and just trying to loosen up, that's not a bad thing by any means. So the 40 seconds left. Game 1 very comfortably in the hands of Draco Esports, but still battling around here across midfield.
Cloverity might look for one more for the Rovers. This clock expires, Skater. 30 seconds left. What exactly went wrong for Cloverity in this first game?
I think it's just missed opportunities. Of course, Heps capitalizing on his as well, getting the hat trick off the pass. Or just solo play from the corner. But I really do think it was just a couple of missed shots, missed opportunities. Cloverity had a few opportunities where they were moving upfield. They could have transitioned into a 2-on-1 offense, maybe try to get a bump on the defender, but they weren't able to get into the position necessary for it, and the touches went just slightly awry, whereas Draco have been playing a lot more cleanly. In a vacuum, fairly even, but when you take into account context and what's actually happening, there's a reason that Game 1 is currently 5-1 Draco.
Right, with 10 seconds left now, this clock gonna, expire here shortly, but again, it's a much-needed win for Draco. It's a huge, dominant fashion victory, but now as this clock expires, Cloverity gonna look ahead to Game 2, try to find their footing here in the second game, and again, Draco, you gotta get started early if you're gonna beat this team, and especially like a 6-game series like you called.
Yeah, I mean, just gotta shake it off, honestly. It's gonna sound like I'm coming across as biased in favor of Cloverity at this point, I'll be honest, but you just gotta shake it off, just keep moving. They still put up 4 shots. The problem is, if you notice, Nation, 4 shots for Cloverity, they got 1 goal, only 1 was saved by Draco. Half of their shots, not even on target. They're hitting the back wall, they're just not there. On the flip side, Draco, they're putting 9 shots on, and only 2 of them are getting saved. The offense coming out in big ways for Draco Esports. If they keep this up going into Game 2, it's going to be very difficult for Cloverity. We'll see if they can get it done here on Forbidden Temple.
Well, teams taking games off Draco before. Cloverity, very talented, so they're able to get the job done, but they just got to start on the right foot and, build these opportunities like you called last game. I mean, it's again, they just got to capitalize on the mistakes of Draco if they're going to find themselves in a victory column here, but again, already 5 seconds through, and Cloverity looks to start things out on the right note here.
They're trying to shift it up. Unfamiliar territory in the playoffs. They haven't lost a game yet, period, and now they're sitting down 0-1 in this best of 7, and they might be down 0-1 here in a moment. No, a couple of misplays. Tub will be the first one back in the soft pop. And again, down 0-1 in the series, down 0-1 in Game 2 as Draco strike first.
It's a quick start for the Dragons here. 20 seconds gone. Draco Tubbs gets the fake, and he finds himself up 1-0 here. But again, it's a quick start for Draco. Cloverity down 1, looking to bounce back.
Yeah, reminiscent of Game 1 where Draco struck early. It got a little bit more balance for the next minute and change before eventually pulling away in favor of this blue squad. So there's a couple interesting points you can make out of this so far, Nation. The first one we're going to point out is Suaz collecting the pass from Nebula to tie it right back up early. I was going to say some similarities to Game 1, and they're not going to want that to happen, but Game 2, they're answering quick.
That's a beautiful infield pass there, just 32 seconds now off the clock, and it's a quick answer back. We'll see what Cloverity can build on their 1-goal margin there, but again, we're back to a tied score. Maybe this is a positive morale that this team needs to put on forward in this series. With 40 seconds gone, Cloverity looking to build on that lead.
Absolutely. I watched that last shot back from Nebula's perspective, and it was so reminiscent of most of my Champ 1, Champ 2 lobbies, where somebody with a great air dribble, and the teammate just kind of comes up seemingly unbittingly. But this time it actually works out, because these players are a large jump above C1, C2. They usually know what they're doing when they go up for something like that.
Right, now a minute gone. It's a again, we talked about it last game as well. Cloverity spending a lot of time with the blue half. It's just there's no opportunities because of the backfield defense Draco's been able to play and showcase here, and it's just not able to really be breached just yet by Cloverity.
Yeah, it's getting a little bit better here in game 2 than game 1, but absolutely to your point, game 1, they locked it down on that back end. They're still holding with just one Sparta playing it onto the back wall, a little more risky than I necessarily would advise, but hey, they're going to get it out for now, send it back down over to the offensive half, but vibing, catching over to Tuv, and Nation getting a lot more into that back-to-back in the midfield now. Possession not lasting for much longer than 2 or 3 touches.
That's a beautiful catch there by Heps to allow control here for Tuv, but again, Draco still find themselves on offense for the meantime and vibing again off the corner, looking for a pass towards the midfield. He gets it over one, but Heps is a little bit too early in the challenge there. Cloverity get a fast break downfield.
Yeah, Spartan's got to get into position here as Nebula takes it out of the corner, but no, he holds back and he gets demoed for it. One of the more difficult decisions to make, to be sure, when you see a player coming up off the side, but you got to get over mid and be ready for a pass and not just allow yourself to be demoed. So you see Nebula there, vibing, taking him out again. So 2 demos in a row in favor of Draco, but not any goals coming out of it.
No goal there will come through, but again, Cloverity sitting in center field with Draco building a passing play there. It's caught just in time, but again from the corner, the shot's on target. Suaz will clean it away.
I loved that shot from Tuv too. Obviously, it got saved, but it was so good. Keep the defense on their toes and keep them honest. As we'll see this offense coming up from Cloverity, the dead ball 50 off over to the corner as Heps and Sparta looking to try to make something work out of this. Now, only 2 minutes and change left in game 2. As Cloverity are going to look for an equalizer in the series. They're going to get the lead in game 2.
Suaz get another flick there for the second one for Cloverity. 2:10 to play, and Suaz puts Cloverity on the board for a second time for their first lead tonight.
A little bit more than 2 minutes left. We'll see if Cloverity can hold on to the lead. It's the first time in the series that they have led. So of course, they'll be looking to get this game win and bring us ostensibly to a best of 5. But for now, we're going to see more offense from Draco. Is vibing, trying to make use of the back wall. Sparta is there, as well as Nebula. The defensive positioning for Cloverity have been solid. And Draco, they're poking, they're prodding, they're looking to try to find the gaps. So the goals have not come as easily as they did in game number 1, but they're still very threatening to jump off that perch at any moment.
Minute 38 to go. Time now starting to tick for Draco. They got to find one soon as an attempt there. Just gone by the wayside. Cloverity think their lucky starts. It's not in the back of their net, but with 90 seconds left, Gators, this is a much better showing so far from Cloverity. As Draco seems a little bit more lackluster here. It's the defensive Cloverity really putting up a performance here.
That really has been the difference, no doubt about it. But still a couple of hold your breath moments. Even just as a viewer, they still hold on to the lead with 70 seconds left. It'll go back onto the blue back line, but no, Nation, the step up of the Cloverity defense has done a lot because it gets them back up onto offense as well, and it starts to force Draco to be, again, a little bit more patient. They can't just pounce on everything if it gets answered back. The question is going to be, Nation, if Cloverity hold on to get this win in game 2, is that going to be an aberration, or maybe they're not going to get the win at all as Heps is going to get the equalizer?
And Heps comes in clutch late for the Draco squad. 49 seconds left, and Heps finds the equalizer there. We're back to a tied score. That lead lasted about 2 minutes, Gator, but unfortunately, now they got to find one more.
And Draco trying to snatch victory from not quite the jaws of defeat, but starting to bare its teeth over there on the opposite end of the pitch. They might get something really nice set up here, but it's going to be deflected off the back wall. 1v2 coming back the other way. Suez will not be able to get it on that initial push. Instead, Sparta will challenge Heps. Find nothing for the effort. Vibing is going to put it on from midfield. Suez over to the corner, but suddenly a scary situation here for Cloverity. Sparta unenviable, just trying to get some room.
Tuv nearly got bumped out there, but he's got a flip reset there, looking for a pass to Vibing. The shot's on target, backward read. It's not made, but Heps there for the shot. It's just wide. With 10 seconds to go, Cloverity might have one chance late.
Well, one last push. Sparta's going to go for the pre-jump. Goes past midline. Tuv over to Heps. Pitch on, and Suaz with one of the most beautiful saves I've seen, and again responds to bring us. No, his clock is still alive as Heps trying to get the pass off. Draco, you're disgusting. Vibing, you're thriving. What was that ending, Nation?
What did we just watch? Heps finds a beautiful pass to Tubby, keeps it alive, vibing, able to finish it off. The pinch play as well works out from downfield. What did we just watch, Gator?
That was insanity. You know, Nation, I've been casting for literally years. That might have been one of the most amazing 0-second plays I have seen in all my days.
And Cloverity stunned on the last second there. It's now down 2-0, and you cannot afford to go down 0-3 to Draco.
Nation, I saved the replay. Like, myself, I'm not even not even the VOD, which I want later, but like, I saved the replay after that game. That is, wow. I said snatching victory from the jaws of defeat, but my goodness, snatching it and just punching Cloverity in the chin to just totally knock them out at the end.
What a finish. And Draco will sub out Hepskid for Hertz moving forward to game 3. We'll see how that affects the roster, but Cloverity might also make a substitution maybe with Kaimo in the lobby here, but Cloverity now down 0-2. They gotta find their footing soon, Gator.
That's the problem. If they have to get a win here, I think. Draco, if they're allowed to go up 3-0 in this series, with how they've been able to pop off, how they've been able to make all of these plays, it's going to be difficult to come back against. If you can bring it to 2-1 for Cloverity, first and foremost, my call of it being in 6 is still alive. But more importantly, you're going to get that momentum back and say, hey, we're down, we are not out. And in fact, they are going to score first in game 3.
Right, and Goonfo did it last night, went on 0-2, and they just stormed back in games 3 and 4. Now Cloverity looking to do the same here. Now we have Kaimo in for Sparta. We'll see if that can help elevate this squad to success, but Draco again down 1 early.
Yeah, a couple of substitutions, as mentioned. Hertz is in for Draco, so a couple of changes here on the pitch as we move on here in game number 3. As you mentioned, a 1-goal lead for Cloverity. They'll try to extend it, but they will be back on defense. Hertz looking to try to find the feel of it from the ceiling, but it will be instead denied by the Cloverity defense. Suaz challenge coming back out of that back corner. Hertz plays it off to the side, so Nebula will take a swing at it. Hertz is going to pass it over to Tuv. A nearly dangerous situation there for Cloverity. The ball was loose in the midfield. An opportunity was there for Draco, but not seized, and we hold on to the 1-0 for now.
Cloverity getting up early, looking for a second to flip reset, just lost control of it in time and vibing. We'll clean it a little bit. Suaz can keep this ball in the blue half for some more seconds here. But Draco after the opening minute, Gator down 0-1, but still a lot of clock to go.
In our nation, I'm really curious to see how the decision by both teams to move a sub in or make a switch up here after 2 games. Really interesting that they did it. I'm not 100% sure of the logic behind it, especially as Draco obviously up 2-0 in the series, also electing to move somebody out, and who knows how that's going to end up working in the long run.
Right, and I think, Cloverity, I know they run a 4-man roster, and I know Kaimo is very talented. Maybe this field they need to change to, get a new morale for this squad and at least have some momentum moving forward. Maybe it's a mindset refresher for, someone else to come in and replace Sparta for this 3rd game, but, as it goes, right now it's looking like a good change.
It does look like it indeed. Kaimo was trying to go for a little bit of a solo play there to really encapsulate your comment, but instead will not be able to get it past the defense. But certainly an interesting one. I do like it for Cloverity so far. The defense for Draco has held strong since that initial goal. To picking up a couple of saves here as we're approaching the midway point of game 3. Look to try to bring it past the midway point of the map as well, but Suez denies. Looking for the double off of the back wall. Is going to get the angle on it. And Cloverity find themselves up 2-0 with 2:43 left.
Their largest lead of the evening comes in game 3. 2:43 to go just right before the half, Gator. And Cloverity looking to extend this lead even further and at least lock up 1 game here to send Draco to a 5th one. But it all starts in game 3. Being down 2-0, if you're going to find yourselves some success in this series, you got to start with game 3, move forward game by game.
Yeah, honestly, that's how it gets to at any point. You talk so much when we're on broadcast and we say, when teams are looking to reverse sweep or looking to try to come back in a series, you start saying, well, game by game. Objectively, they should start doing it from game 1, to be fair. Then it seems to work out a little bit better for the teams that have that more deliberate approach. And as I talked over a very solid defensive stance there, Nebula's going to be denied by vibing. So 2-0 for Cloverity is looking to hold on, but a couple of very near highlight plays breaking out here in game 3.
Both teams in incredible save on the goal lines, but with 2 minutes to play, Cloverity still hanging on to a 2-goal lead here in the final moments of Game 3. But like we mentioned time and time again, Gator, Game 3 is a swing game and a best of 7. And if Draco wins this game, it might be over. But Cloverity, maybe it's that late surge they need here to move forward in this series. But again, Draco gonna make that near impossible as Tub turns in 1 here for Draco.
And getting on the board, and we've seen once they can score, they can start doing so in bunches. Really like Vibing's commitment to it as well. So as awkward angle to it, I'm not going to 100% blame him for the miss, but still making it an open situation here for Draco. So back within 1:45 on the clock. Kickoff will go in favor of Vibing, trying to stick it past Chemo, but instead popped off over to the corner, and the battle for possession will return.
Final 90 seconds of regulation here. Nebula looking for center field, finds one touch. Tub in the backfield, finding a demo there from Vibing. It's a one-on-one with Nebula, but Tub finds the clear forward. Cloverity have got to hustle back here on defense.
Gets past the midfield line, but Vibing sending it back as Nebula playing on the back wall. I've noticed Draco Esports really like putting plays up towards the back. Is that just going to be in? No, Tub is going to save it. As I was saying, Draco, they like to hunt for those back wall plays. They're trying to get the pass over to their teammate, maybe to set themselves up for a double touch. Cloverity has gotten better at defending it. They were not that great in games 1 and 2, to be frank, but they do have the lead here in game number 3. 50-ish seconds left, up 2-1 as Nebula strips it away from Hertz.
Final 50 seconds. Draco still down 1, but plenty of clock left to go here. Looking for an offensive opportunity here as Tub nearly makes the read in the back wall, but off the ceiling comes Suaz. It's past 2 and Cloverity in 1-on-1.
Drop to Chemo. Chemo dropping it over to Nebula, but Tub up quick. Trying to get it over to Vibing, and he will on the second attempt. Needs to get it past Suaz. Nebula, awkward touch. Will play it again off that back wall. Final 20. Suaz cutting it out in mid, and this is just going to be a runaway goal, extending the lead and opening up a little bit of separation as Cloverity look to get on the series board.
Right, they build that margin up, back out to 2. They get the insurance goal intact, Gator. 22 seconds. Can Draco do it? Down by 2 late.
But I'll have to come off the kickoff, and I don't want to say anything against them based off how the that last game ended. So if they can get one here, obviously game not over, but cleared up by Nebula off Vibing shot. So for the final 10 seconds, time ticking away. Free ball over in the midfield, Vibing on target. Chemo to the corner, picks up a savior medal, and seals the deal for game number 3. Cloverity find themselves on the board.
Cloverity get 1 on the board, and now it's Draco. They fall down here in game 3. But the change we talked about before this game started, Cloverity, it made it work here, and now they move forward to game 4 and they get a game on their side.
So 3 games in, we got to talk about trends. Draco's goals 5-3-1, Cloverity 1-2-3. My prediction, Nation, the next game, the final score -1-4. That will keep the trend alive.
Trend alive indeed. We'd love to talk about trends here, but Cloverity, you gotta find that footing and continue to build the pressure on Draco like we saw in game 3 there. But again, it's a positive change it looks like after the substitution. But again, Gator, it's anyone's series still at the end of the day.
Yeah, and we did see, I think Hertz might have gone for a car change. I saw him pop out of the lobby there for just a moment. As we head here into game number 4, this one could be crucial. If Cloverity find a way to equalize the series, obviously a lot of pressure and a lot of momentum on their side. Draco get the bounce back to go up 3-1. Things are going to look a lot more favorable for them. Only time will tell. So we got 4 minutes and 42 seconds to find out where the series will end up after 4 games.
It's game 4. Cloverity looking to add on to their scoreboard here, Gators. 30 seconds gone. This time, no early goal for Cloverity. It's a tied up score here in the opening minute, but a chance at coming for Cloverity, and the dunk, it's down and in the top right corner. Nebula turns it in for 1.
Hey, Nation, 4 games in a row now, we've seen somebody score within the first 20 to 35 seconds, and whoever scores first has won that game. So maybe that's going to be it for Cloverity. Who knows? But we have seen some quick goals throughout this series, usually followed by, a minute and a half of more traditional non-scoring Rocket League. We'll be curious to see if that continues as well. And why not? Nebula's just going to get that in from the mid. Why not? Why not?
Well, it's a 2-0 score again here. Cloverity looking to, make dividends here in game 4, and Now, Draco, what do you do down 2 here early? You can see 2 goals pretty much off kickoffs, and you're down 2 here. And Draco, like we've seen in games 1 and 2, how hot they can be and how fast they can get started. But Cloverity just making them look a little bit less lackluster in this opening, in the back half of this series.
The important thing for them now is to realize that they have a lot of time to get back out of this deficit. You know, it's 2 goals, 4 minutes. They don't have to get 3 goals in the next 3 seconds. They have time. No need to panic. For Cloverity, you want to press the advantage. Your stuff's clicking. You won the last game. You got a couple of goals up early. You really want to twist the knife and make this a statement as you go to try to equalize.
And that open corner shot there might be one they want back later, as Draco looking to extend here, a chance incoming, but Vibing is cleaned away, and now Nebula looking to extend forward, Cloverity back on offense again here.
Nebula is trying to do it all coming out of that corner. And a quick challenge by Chemo from Tubbs clear as well. Cloverity are swarming across that midfield line, but an opportunity for Draco presenting. Tubbs back wall, Hurts will not get the challenge off past Chemo. Chemo's going to race it down to try to beat Vibing to it, or at least to harass the defender as he's trying to set up that clear. Hurts past Suaz, one more touch, trying to get it over to Tuv. As Chemo will ego challenge onto it, but Tuv maintains possession. Vibing streaking up the middle, but Tuv says solo. It is going to get it back down low, but it gets cleared out. 2 saves off the one shot.
Final 3 minutes, 2 minutes now gone, and Cloverity still looking for that 3-0 lead, but Draco looking a little bit better here in that second minute of play, and again, Hurts in the backfield looking for a 50, does want it out to Tough here, and now Draco extending, but off the ceiling comes Kaimo as he sends Cloverity back on offense here.
Trying to get a 3rd goal here as we approach halftime, but Draco Esports, again, they're going to be looking to try to get themselves off the board. A passing play mid, Hurts trying to get it over to Tough, but will be cut off by the defenders. I like that mix-up as they're trying to crack that Cloverity defense. They have not had as much luck as they did in the first couple of games, but they're still hunting, they're still trying. The fight is absolutely still here in Draco, and as it should be, they are still up in the series.
Draco down 2 here. Cloverity again, Gator. They just look so much better in a completely different team. Now, and coming to that 3rd game after the roster substitution, but with 2 minutes left, Draco now starting a little running out of time just a little bit, you think, here?
It's getting close. If there was a minute 15 left, I'd be a little bit more comfortable saying that, but Tubb is going to get angles like that, but Suaz is still going to find the save. This is going to start to get frustrating for the Draco Esports players, as now this isn't just they haven't been able to find their way past, they have knocked down the door, gotten into the entryway, and then kicked out by the guard dog. This gets frustrating if you're on that Draco team.
Right, we talk about it time and time again, just not being able to break through that brick wall is infuriating in series like this. And with 80 seconds left, Draco still needing 2 goals to at least force an OT here. But, you know, we've seen it happen again for Draco, but Cloverity just looking so talented right here in Game 4 as this series continues to move on.
Yeah, and still that the ending of game number 2 just... It's too recent to count that out with only a minute left, although things are looking to be more dire for Draco as time expires. Clarity doing well up on that midfield line. Again, at this point, they don't even need goals, just playing keep away, taking time off the clock, and disallowing Draco from taking more direct approaches, although this one very nearly working its way out, but Nebula covering a significant amount of ground to get that off over to the corner before the next shot could come.
38 seconds left. Cloverity still hanging on by a thread to 2 goals lead, and here comes Tubb downfield trying to set the offense up here for Draco's a miss by Nebula, but no one in time to take a shot. It's just towards the corner. Suaz will turn it away. 30 seconds left here. Cloverity still in the head by 2.
Tick tock, tick tock. Time is ticking, and right now the hands are moving in favor of Cloverity as we're approaching that tied series. 10 seconds left, looking like we're going to get it. It's Chemo off over to the corner, 5 seconds left. Surely this will be more than enough. Cloverity bouncing back after, quite honestly, getting throttled in game number 1 and suffering a heartbreaker in game 2. They're bouncing back in games 3 and 4 to go on a 5-1 run across the 2 games and find themselves tied and going into game 5.
So we go to Game 5, Gator. What has changed here, you think, for Draco? I mean, sorry, for Cloverity, that's really elevated them in Games 3 and 4. Now Draco looks like they're on their back foot here, down 2 in a row.
I mean, I do think it's confidence, as silly as that might sound. Cloverity, touch a little bit slower. They had hiccups as we talked about them not being able to really grasp onto the opportunities that they had in game one. And in game two, again, having that heartbreaker could be so demoralizing, and you gotta think it was to some extent. But since then, they have been playing a lot more confidently. They've been going for the challenges in the midfield and not giving Draco Esports time to set up on their offense and time to find the gaps in the Claverity defense. When you get there so quickly, the gaps become that much shorter and it becomes so much harder to exploit.
Now Claverity looking to extend. That's 2 wins in a row for both squads now. So game 5, that second swing game here, Gator, and Draco starts it off on the right foot. Tov puts Draco on the board here for the first time since game 3.
And again, somebody scores in the first 20 to 35 seconds. This time it's going to be Draco. A hot take nation, I'll call it from now. Draco takes game 5.
You know, the Treads are looking likely, Gator. The first team to score is always one. So based off that assumption here, Draco's going to win game 5. But this one's still far from over. Claverity looking for a response, but the Draco defense able to stand tall and bear it off.
So just the kind of guy I am. Blind faith in numbers. Numbers have never proven me wrong ever once. Do not look up my history of predictions as an analyst, as a caster. It's 100% because the numbers are right. But Suaz is going to get the read. He's going to read these numbers. Great pass from Chemo and a fantastic turnaround by Suaz to redirect that one back on target.
And as I say, Gator, numbers don't lie, but we're tied up here in game 5, 4:20 to go, and another quick goal for Claverity after a goal from Draco, and we're back to an even score.
And this is going to look to be interesting as well, as Chemo's knocking it back out over to Suaz, but Tov picking up the save. Both teams, you sometimes see a little bit of a reset in between games where the pace is slow for the beginning of the next game, but then it picks up. It has not been the case here in game 5. Full tilt, full speed from both squads as they look to try to get within striking distance of a grand finals berth.
Both these teams got to go full throttle for the next 3:48 to get themselves on the match point here. As both teams fighting for their berth to the finals of this tournament, and already minute 20 gone. And Claverity still looking like the better team here, but Draco again, they did strike early, but the offense has got to continue to come alive and build chances here. As Claverity not going to go out without a fight.
I will say Draco getting that early goal, even if there was an answer immediately afterwards, is going to be huge for this blue trio. They're going to send all three up on offense, but I do think that's going to be big after they've been slowed down so much. 8 goals in the first 2 games, 1 in the following 2. So has not quite been as fruitful as it has been, but getting that early goal is going to be huge for them. I do believe as Claverity, they're forced back on defense quite a bit, have not been able to leak out. Nation, you talked earlier about really liking the transition game from Claverity, and it has not appeared too much here in Game 5.
Right, but you also take a look at the defense here for Claverity. It stood tall for several games in a row now. Draco really struggling to break the ice here, but they do finally find one. But a chance comes away for Nebula. It's a 2-1 Claverity lead right before the half.
That was just a really good touch by Nebula. It looked like he was trying to get an immediate shot off of it. It ended up with a catch. It just returned around to get it on target right away. So, hey, good heads on the shoulders to put it on. Claverity up just before halftime.
Claverity ahead by 1 here. It's still plenty of clock to go. Draco now trying to equalize here in Game 5, but Claverity, like we said, are not going to go out without a fight here. So looking to build on a match point here in Game 5.
Nation, to this point, I'm not going to hold my breath, but after seeing them drop the first 2, if they do win in 6, I'll call myself a little bit of a prognosticator. But Draco Esports, they say, hold on, put a pin in that. They're swarming back down up on an offense and putting it inside that far post to get us back to a tie game.
2:26, numbers don't lie. Draco scored first. They're tied. Will they score next again? To lock up Game 5, will Claverity maybe set Draco up for a stunner in Game 6? But with 2:20 left, Draco now looking to take this game into their hands here, but still half the game to go.
Chemo chasing it down over into the corner. Tov back across the midfield line as Draco will be looking to get a third goal on here to try to snuff out that Claverity vibe. As Tov is going to send it back over to Vibing. No, is actually setting it up over to Hertz. Great turn! And Nation! That might not have been the most clip-worthy play, but in terms of team chemistry, you can't get much better than that.
Right, and Hertz just turns it in for 1. It's just right past the 2 defenders there. Final 2 minutes now. Draco in the lead by 1. Claverity now falling behind.
It's less than 2 to try to get that third. Schemo is going to demo the first, and Hurts sending it back over to their own third, but will go wide instead over to Suaz, trying to get the pass over. But all three players for Clarity were up on that midfield line, and they will be punished for it. They can't get back in time, and Tuv instead is going to score off the pass room, vibing a little bit of a kerfuffle, chasing it down there in front of the goal.
And Tubb finds, again, another goal for Draco. 1:45 to go to 2-goal margin now. Cloverity trying to cut this margin in half, but not a lot of clock left to go.
There are kind of echoes of games 1 and 2 here. It's Cloverity, they've given up a couple of opportunities. They've scored, obviously, more than they did in the first couple of games. But those are some mistakes that you really can't make at this level of Rocket League. They're going to be punished so quick. To have 2 players up past the midfield line before your ball carrier has even made it to the midfield, that's going to be punished. And Draco Esports, they're feasting off of it. Game 1, they popped off in big ways. In game 5, they're doing it again.
And Tubb finds a hat trick here. Kaimo just not ready for it. Sends it top right corner. And Draco Esports now really building that margin out to 3 with 1:18 left. I think that might have been the nail in the coffin there for Game 5.
I think it might have been. I am inclined to agree. Now up by 3 with 70-ish seconds left. It'll be difficult. There is surely time for Cloverity to come back here, but I'm not necessarily counting on it at this point as Draco. They can play it safe. I wouldn't advise it to. I would say for them, go and push it as well. Remind their opponents who they're messing with. But still, 5-2 lead with less than a minute to go. Things are looking pretty good. 5-2, 5-3. Still up by 2, but Chemo cuts into the deficit.
Well, now they make it doable, Gator. It's now back within 2 with 52 seconds left. It's definitely now possible. At least you don't have to find 3 in the final 30 seconds, but you still got to get it 1 every 26 or so. So still not a lot of clock left to go under the final minute here, but now it's doable.
Hey, Nation, it's easier to find 2 goals in 50 than it is to find 3. They almost found one in the first 5, but will be denied by Hurts. The Tubb is going to go for the 1v1 versus Suaz. Does not get it past the defender, but vibing on the cleanup will provide some relief for their teammate. Coming back is Cloverity. Chemo from the sky looking to get it up over to Nebula, but Tubb up there too fast. Suaz is going to go for the infield pass over to Chemo. Vibing reads it. And a great defensive play from the Draco Esports player. Did not only get the read on the defense, but send it all the way back up onto offense. But a free ball back the other way. Can they get there in time? And Chemo will.
And Kaimo finds a 4th, 16 seconds to go. They took a little bit too long, but now they're down 1 and 16 seconds left. They're coming back late here.
This series is delivering for ending. These endings have been so fantastic. 16 seconds. What are the odds, Nation? What are the odds?
Well, this clock is now starting to expire, but a chance there for
No
Kaimo!
way.
He
No,
ties it up! We're tied!
What? How does this keep happening? 9 seconds, and the deficit erased. 5-5 in game number 5. The winner moving on to series point and grand finals appearance point. We still got 9 seconds left. Suaz needs to collect it. There's no way this is happening, Nation.
It's Suaz turns in a second, 6-5. Cloverity surged back late in regulation. It's a 4-goal run for Cloverity, 5 seconds to go.
Said find 2 goals in 50 seconds. Oh, they found 3. They just need to hold on. With 5 seconds left, are they going to be the stunner in answer to Draco earlier? And they're going to pause it. They're going to kill it. They're going to win it. And Cloverity move up 3-2 in the series.
Cloverity on match point, looking to set up the stunner over the BLCS Titans. It's Draco Esports now down 3-2, getting on their last life.
11 total goals in this game. What is this even? Chemo coming into the stream chat to say Yahweh. This is what are these endings, Nation? This is just, you know, you dream of it. You want to see these final pushes at the end of the games. How often does it actually happen? Because we are absolutely seeing it now.
Draco now, really, what do they got to do here? Get another last life, the back foot, their backs against the wall. Cloverity on a 3-game spree here after a 4-goal run in the late final seconds of Game 5, and I just don't even know what we're watching anymore.
We're watching Rocket League. We're going into Neo Tokyo, and what a thriller of a series! And I want Claverity to win it in 6 to prove me right. I hate being a liar to all these fine folks, but my goodness, Nation, it feels like this series in particular needs a Game 7.
Yeah, for how this series has gone after the pinch in Game 2 and the 4-goal run in Game 5, I think it's only right that we go to Champions Field, but with 30 seconds off the clock, Claverity looking to close it out here in 6.
All eyes upon Draco Esports to see how they bounce back. The viewers, the two of us, the Bob's Ramen logo, all staring down at the pitch to find out what will happen and to see if they can get the streak back. Now, Draco scored first in game number 5, but they did not win. Nobody has scored in the first 30-ish seconds either, so we do break from tradition. We break into this infield passing play as Hertz puts it in under the crossbar.
And the passing plays continue to arise for Draco, vibing out to Tub and back to Hertz for the goal. It's a 1-0 start for Draco.
They're going to have to hold on to this too. They need to keep the momentum and just keep pushing. Play solid and don't get rattled if anything does in fact go awry. But Draco, a solid start, looking to continue on with the follow-up. Tub out of the corner over to vibing. Bit of a slower touch, trying to get it back over to Tuv. It will be cleared out by the Claverity defense. Hertz vibing. Send Hertz scores again!
And 3:50 left. It's another quick goal for Draco. A minute 10 off the clock and vibing. Back to Hertz. It's just these passing plays continue to pry right through the back wall of Claverity with 3:50 on the clock.
Hertz slice and dice, gets the touch twice, scores twice as well. As Draco with a hot start in Neo Tokyo. They're going to need to continue it. They're going to need to keep playing with this chip on their shoulder and bring us over to Champions Field. As Claverity have bounced back, obviously, in huge ways, especially in that last game. So there's far too much time on this clock to be comfortable. But Hertz is going to get that great challenge over onto Nebula. Bit awkward coming out of the corner, however. Suo still maintains with it. He's going to put this one on target. Nebula looking to secure it. Hertz gets the initial save, but Nebula still scores.
He finds a block there on the goal line. Claverity back within one, getting to cut this lead in half. And Nebula credited with the goal. Claverity now looking to surge here in the first half.
Just a 1-goal difference. There is so much time left on this clock. Anything can happen in this series. And this is setting us up for such a fantastic championship Sunday, Nation. This first series has been delivering in spades.
This first series is delivered on all cylinders here. 2 minutes gone, and Claverity putting up one strong fight with the Titans of Draco Esports here. And Suaz going to come all the way to the goal, but he does clear it out of harm's way. But Draco looking to build pressure, but Nebula finally will clear this one back to the left corner. And again, Draco just continuing to put shots on target here as Claverity really getting pressured on their own end here.
They're getting a ton of pressure on them. They have to play very deliberately, too. As we pointed out, Suwa is going back all the way to net to try to get the clear off. They can't go with that. Well, maybe they should go with the initial reaction because you'd hope they'd have good reactions at this point. But you can't just go for the very first touch when all that pressure is coming upon you, because you need more than the first touch. You need the second, you need the third to alleviate the pressure. Right now, this third is looking to continue with the shot from Hertz, saved by Suaz. We're past the midway point, Nation. Draco Esports still up by 1, but will it last?
Well, 2:13 to go is a lot of clock here in Game 6. A chance from the corner there, just going to be wide with the rebound for the teammate. Suaz turns it in from the corner. What a play. 2:08 to go. We're tied.
Tied up. 2:08 on the clock in Neo Tokyo. Suaz chasing it down and putting it on target. It will set us up for another kickoff to find out who is going to come away with this lead. Although the lead has changed hands so many times throughout this series, it is hard to make a long-lasting prediction. So the final two plays off. Tuv challenging Claverity, looking to get the clear out. So the final minutes will determine whether the series ends here or do we head over to Champions Field.
Claverity looking to stun Draco in Game 6. Tuv, good 50 there for Nebula and Claverity with a minute 44 to go. They start out the second half with a bang, but now they got to finish strong.
Chemo up high is going to go for the air or the ground to air dribble, and will get some plays off the back wall as well. Nebula trying to sneak it low, but Vibin is thriving in that defensive position. They'll send this back up over to offense as well. Is not going to get the touch. but we'll stay here back. Awkward for Claverity, but Suwa is able to get breathing room for the orange trio. With Tub with a quick turn onto it, Chemo up as well. We will remain tied with 70 to go.
Now Hurts putting it back in front of the orange. Box Kaimo. Good clear out towards the backside here for Draco, but Nebula finds a 50 towards the midfield and vibing off the back wall. We'll find a long clear towards the opposite side of the field as we approach the final 60 of Game 6.
Corner play kind of coming into it to an extent. One of the first passing play notions that starts coming up as you increase up the Rocket League ladder. We're starting to see it again here in this lobby. We're seeing Chemo score again. Claverity are finding themselves in the lead with 45 seconds left.
45 seconds to play. Claverity ahead by 1. Can they do it?
It's so hard to say anything, Nation, with how the final minutes of these games have gone. They've been utter insanity. I'm so excited to see how this plays out.
Well, 40 seconds left. Claverity putting on a strong showing here in this first series of the Championship Sunday, but Draco now with 30 seconds have got to find one to link the passes across, but no one there. 30 seconds left. Claverity looking for one more, but this clock's starting to expire.
Tick, tick, tick. It's going away, but Tub over to Hertz and Nebula here to play as he'll get the Savior medal to keep them up and alive. Is Chemo trying to play it out of the corner as well, but vibing, catching, controlling, no, as Suwa's challenges on it. Nebula over to the midfield, Chemo on target, Hurts with the save, but it will clear out to the mid. Still alive for now, 3 seconds left. Tub is going to put it onto the back wall, needs one more touch, but no, the ground touches first, and Claverity have won in 6 games.
Claverity have stunned Draco Esports here in Game 6, 4-2 the final score. You're the profit getter, you called it before we started kickoff. Claverity, a 4-2 win to advance to the Grand Finals.
Not to, brush my own shoulders, but that might have been the first series I've ever predicted correctly. That was a remarkable series, and honestly, Draco, obviously, they wanted more tonight. They wanted to push their way into the Grand Finals, and it's not how it played out. They put on a hell of an effort. That Game 2 finisher, my goodness, one of the greatest finishes I've ever seen. Point blank. Ultimately falling short, Claverity continuing their run, undefeated in rounds 1 and 2, dropping a couple in the semis, but they're going to look to wait to see who their opponent is between EV Horizon and X13 Black.
Well, what a finish we just watched, Gator, but whenever you come back, I'll be joined by Bepic as we have EV Horizon taking on X13 Black. So we're going to go to a quick intermission. Do not go anywhere.